Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining. I want to thank you for coming to our second She Leads Spotlight course, Building an Online LinkedIn Brand. If you'd like to learn more about She Leads, please check out the website at azfw.org and click on the She Leads up at the top to learn more about our amazing program. And you can also connect with me on LinkedIn, and I'd be happy to answer any questions you have. I'm Tracy DeSoto. I'm the program chair for the She Leads program. And with me today, I have Christina Ruppel. Christina, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. I work at University of Phoenix, and I am a creative content and development manager.
So we are very excited to have you here today to talk about what LinkedIn is, why it's important to build an online brand, and the four components of having an all-star brand. So what is LinkedIn? The official definition is that it's a professional networking site designed to connect people to opportunities. I want to give you a little bit of statistics here. So we're going to use the chat feature today. You can disregard the Q&A section. We're just going to stick with chat today. And you can also unmute yourself and speak up if you'd like to. But I'd like to hear in the chat, how many users do you think there are on LinkedIn globally? How many users are there out there? Any thoughts? Give me your wildest guess.
Oh, it sounds somebody, let's see. It looks like chat is disabled maybe right now, and they're not able to post into that.
Oh, no. All right. Well, then let's use Q&A. I will.
I'll monitor it too, Tracy.
Okay, thank you. So if you're able to use chat or Q&A, I'm sorry, please go ahead and put your answer. 100 million, Becca. Thank you for answering. You are so close. There's 875 million LinkedIn users globally. It's available in 200 countries and 26 different languages. Not sure if you knew this, but Microsoft Corporation owns LinkedIn, and they acquired it for $26 billion. So it has an annual revenue of $8.5 billion. And the United States has the most LinkedIn users with over 190 million users as of the end of Q3 in 2022. So if you're starting to see why it might be important to have an online presence here, you're probably right. 52 million users look for jobs through LinkedIn every single week. 65 million users are business decision makers. That means people who can decide to hire you or not, or buy your product or not. Every single minute, 8 people are hired on LinkedIn. And over 58 million companies are on LinkedIn to share their resources with you. 67% of recruiters say that professionals hired through LinkedIn are of a higher quality. And in 2022, LinkedIn saw a 22% increase in engagement. We're going to talk about all these things today, but I hope that you can see a business case here for establishing an online brand. It is very, very important. So why do you need an online brand? Well, first of all, I want to say that your online brand is very fluid. You should always be updating your LinkedIn. However, if you don't have a great profile, it can feel overwhelming. So don't let it stress you out. Just bite off a little bit at a time today. Take some good notes today, and we'll take baby steps, and we'll help you every step of the way and show you what it looks like to build an amazing, powerful profile. So connection, the opportunity to connect with others on LinkedIn is important because in the world of work, relationships are your competitive advantage. I bet most of you have either said or heard, oh, so-and-so got that job because they knew someone, or maybe even you got the job you're in today because of a relationship you had. Every single business decision, from recommending a colleague to hiring a candidate to promoting an employee, it flows through people. And if you fail to build a network of support around you, you make it really difficult to achieve your professional goals. And I know it seems tedious and not everyone's into social media, and that's okay. LinkedIn is a professional profile. It allows you to build a strong brand by establishing a professional online presence. Now, I've said professional a couple times. What do you think I mean when I say professional online presence? And go ahead and answer in the Q&A.
Chat should be working now.
Oh, good. Chat's a lot easier. So let's switch over to chat. Let me know what you think I mean when I say professional online presence. Anybody?
I'll answer, Tracy. Oh, there we go. We got somebody. Julie said to show accomplishments, work history.
Yes. Christina, do you have anything to add?
I think it's just remembering there's so many social media platforms out there. You know, you might post things on Facebook that are very different than something on LinkedIn. You want to make sure it reflects a really good brand for yourself because it could create opportunities for your career.
Absolutely. And Julie said, knowing you would be of value. Why knowing you would be of value? And we're going to touch on value a lot. That was Deborah, actually. Connection strictly professionally. Professional reflects your I can't speak. I'm so sorry. Reflects your brand and your work. And you can brag about your company and your work that you're proud of. All of those are great answers. And I do want to say that over the past few years, LinkedIn is softening a bit in some of the posts that you'll see, but it's still very important to remain professional. So you might share a personal story that helps add value to your brand. You might share a picture of your family if what you're looking for is to make connections with like people. But we don't want to share a picture of you on the boat with a margarita in your hand. We want to keep those pictures professional and those comments professional. So connecting is how you bring people into your online community. This is vital because how is someone going to go from, I don't know who you are, to, ooh, I want to connect with that person. Building community, it's not about getting 5,000 connections. It's about establishing thoughtful, intentional connections, not just how many people you can connect with. And we'll talk about this a little bit more in detail on a few slides. I know when I started my LinkedIn journey many, many years ago, I thought it was all about getting as many connections as I could. And I got a lot, but I didn't find value in most of them. So we will go into that later. And finally, your brand. You have one in person and you have one online, whether you know it or not. It can be anything from a very sparse profile that nobody pays attention to. It could be a version of your online resume that nobody wants to read because we've already read your resume. Or it could be the story of you, a story that demonstrates why someone would want to connect with you. Establishing a very intentional brand requires you to articulate that you have the expertise needed to add value to help a potential employer or client solve their business needs or to fill gaps in their organizations. It gives you credibility. A strong online brand can help establish credibility for your business, having a well-designed website, engaging in social media presence, and a positive online reviews can all contribute to your personal brand and help bring you potential employers or customers. And then visibility. Being visible online can help you stand out in a crowded job market. When people search for employees, products, or even services online, they're much more likely to choose a brand that has a strong online presence. LinkedIn's cost-effective for employees and employers. Building an online brand can be a very cost-effective way to market your business, your products, or yourself. Many digital marketing methods, such as social media and email marketing, these can all be done at free or a very low cost. So we're going to approach this in a couple ways because you might be somebody who has a product to sell. You might be someone who's trying to promote a service, or you might be looking for a job, which I think is probably the reason most of you are here, but just keep that in mind. And then engagement. An online brand can help you engage with your customers, your clients, or your potential employers in real time. Social media, live chat, and email are all ways to connect with your audience and provide excellent ways to build your brand. So it's not just LinkedIn, but that's what we're going to focus on here today. LinkedIn is free. There is a paid version, but in my experience, it's unnecessary for building a brand for finding a career. However, there are some great benefits to the paid version, including learning opportunities that Christina is going to talk to you about a little bit later. There are 4 components to have a successful brand on LinkedIn: your power profile, how you communicate the story of you, value add outreach. We're going to talk about this one a lot, how you bring people into your online community, and then demonstrating your expertise, articulating your area of expertise to build your credibility so that people learn to trust you, because when people trust you, they want to work with you. And then your job search strategy. How do you find the roles that you're looking for? All 4 of these must work together to be successful in creating your brand. So let's talk about a profile here. A lot of people still think that LinkedIn is just an online version of your resume, but it's really much more than that. Professionals use LinkedIn for opportunities to connect, to learn, to build their brand, which are 3 of the most important things you can do to manage your career. Your LinkedIn profile isn't for your benefit. So let that sink in for a minute. Oh, I'm sorry. We have, what was the last component? Let me go back so you can make sure to write that down. And we will provide these slides afterwards too. So we have a power profile, value add outreach, demonstrating your expertise, and your job search strategy. You're welcome, Kaylee. So I want you to think about this, because some people think that LinkedIn is all about promoting me, but it's really not about you. Your profile is a way to create value for others who may be interested in working with someone like you. So I have an example of my profile here. So let's kind of break it down. First and foremost, you'll see I have photos. When I see somebody try to connect with me without a photo, I typically don't accept them. And this is a selfie. This is a selfie taken with on a little tripod with my phone on it and with a little remote thing that I have set up. You can take amazing headshots at home. And in the chat, Christina's going to provide a document with best tips on how to do that. You'll also notice that this picture in the background, LinkedIn comes with a very generic, I think it's a gray, muted nothingness in the background behind your picture. And it's really important to put something there that is important to you, that you love to look at. Maybe you have a cityscape of the city that you're in, or maybe you have a desert landscape if you're in the desert. For me, I have this picture of a group of the cheerleaders at their orientation night. And it's just something that I want to profile because I'm very proud of it and I'm very proud of these women. So I'll stop there. What else stands out to you or that you see on my profile page? Anything stand out to you? Or hashtags? Yeah, I'll talk about that. Did you guys, my quote? Okay, good. You're picking up on a lot of things I want to talk about. So I use creator mode. Creator mode is a profile setting that can help you grow your influence on LinkedIn. I have a weekly blog. I have a service that I sell outside of my normal job. So anybody can turn on creator mode to get access to additional tools and features. If you're a content creator and you want to provide a portfolio of digital images, it really opens the door up to be more creative on your profile when you turn on creator mode. And some of the different tools that you have access to is that you can display the topics you post about in your profile as hashtags. It gives you the opportunity to create 5 hashtags in creator mode. And this is how a lot of people find me, because these are the topics that I usually talk about and the topics that are important to me. Creator mode is also a very good way to get discovered, because when you have this setting on, you become eligible as a suggested person to follow. So people can find you and your content very easily. Martha, it is in your settings. If we have time afterwards, I'll see if I can walk you through it. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it is in the settings within your profile. And then you can get access to creator tools. So you can do LinkedIn Lives, you can do newsletters, neither of which I've taken advantage of yet. I'm a little scared to go LinkedIn Live with some of my work, but I think it's something I'm going to start doing. Creator mode can also be a great way to increase your follower count. So when you turn creator mode on, it changes from connect to follow, so people can follow you and the content that you create. If you're a content creator, there's really no reason not to use creator mode. It gives you so much more visibility and reach, which can help you grow your business or your brand. And this next thing I want to talk about this profile is it needs to have a hook. So you want to remember when I said it's how you bring people into your online community. You want the viewer to say, wow, this is for me. This is the type of person I've been looking for. Whether it's for employment or to sell something that you have to add value. Your profile should be very clear on the problem that exists and how you can solve for it. So what problem am I trying to solve? Anyone want to put it in there? Christina, you can use creator mode. Yeah. Oh, thanks, Christina. So can you tell what problem I helped to solve? And you guys can go off mute too and shout it out if that's easier. I'm totally fine with that too. Personal development. Yeah, so I help women get their power back by overcoming stress, burnout, and overwhelm. The problem is stress, burnout, and overwhelm. And by a raise of hands or thumbs up in the chat, how many of you can relate to stress, burnout, and overwhelm? I see hands going up. Definitely. Yes, I see a thumbs up. Thank you. So your profile should be clear on the problem that exists and how you can solve for it. This is the most searchable area of LinkedIn. So when an employer goes to search for you, this is where the search generates from, this little blurb right here. And it's at the top third of the page. People will see this and then they decide to move on further into your profile. So just keep that in mind. Another good example, I'm trying to remember, we have a old colleague named Steven Starks who had an amazing one, not in creator mode. Christina, do you have any examples? I don't mean to put you on the spot. Another example of what a little tagline might be?
I'm trying to remember what his was, but it alluded to helping people find their passion to get into the career they love.
Yes. So he was a career coach, and it was like, I help people find a career that they will fall in love with, something like that. So it's like, ooh, this guy can help me find a job. So this is really just the impact that you'll have. And then you're going to want to show proof, which we will also talk about later. But if I'm looking at your profile and I see that you have the skills to solve a gap that I have in my company, I'm going to want to see proof before I move forward with contacting you. So you want to have a transformation statement, which is the benefit that you're promising, the problem that they have, and then what you can promise. I help women get their power back. And then the problem is here. So that talks about the outcome that we can achieve if we work together. Okay, so a little bit further down, you'll see a skills section. And Christina is going to go more into detail about some of the attributes of this later, but LinkedIn has over 39,000 skills that you can choose from to highlight. I wouldn't suggest highlighting more than about 10, and you can move them in order of relevance to have your most important skills at the top. And when you do that, when other people who you are connected with log into their LinkedIn, they might get a pop-up that says, do you endorse Tracy DeSoto for leadership development? And you can see that over 99 people have said yes to that endorsement. Every time someone says yes, it helps build these numbers because recruiters, potential customers, potential employers are going to look at these to see what do your peers and colleagues think of your skills. I'm not sure why I have two of the same one here. I just noticed that, but two of my strongest skills that I wanted to highlight were leadership development and coaching. Any questions here? How many of you have used the skills section to highlight skills for yourselves? Christina, any other? Deborah's a yes. Haven't looked at them in years.
Then, because this will remind you to look at your
Yes.
now.
Yes, thanks for being honest, Heather. When I first embarked on my LinkedIn journey, Christina and I kind of did it together. Probably about 6 years ago, we kind of got into being passionate about this and teaching classes about it. And it's something that, like I said in the beginning, is fluid and that you should always keep updated. Put it on your calendars once a month to go in and just review. It's a lot easier than starting from scratch. And if you have to start from scratch, just take baby steps.
Tracy, I'm sorry, can you go back for one thing I wanted to add on there?
Yeah.
So with the skills too, I was pulling it up on my phone so I can tell you where it's at, but when you go to your profile and you go down to your skills section, it's just scrolling past, resources and licenses and stuff. There's usually also something that will say like demonstrate skills. And there it provides a bunch of different assessments that you can take. So an example could be Microsoft PowerPoint. And if you feel like you know that program really well, you can take the assessment. And if you pass, then that's posted on your LinkedIn profile and automatically added as a skill, which is pretty cool. I've done quite a few assessments. If you don't pass, then you wait and you can retake it again. I think it's after 3 months, but that's another cool feature that you can use.
And thanks, Christina. And those assessments are very credible because you have to pass something to get them. It's not like people can just say, oh, I think she's good at that because of her title, but they add a lot of credibility to your profile. I have not done any skills yet. So I'm kind of excited to dig into that.
Yeah.
Or assessments yet, I mean.
They're challenging, I'll be honest, because even programs I am very familiar with are challenging, but to Tracy's point, it's because they want to make sure that you have the knowledge to pass it.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, thank you. All right, so remember how I said you need to show proof? The proof is in the pudding, and that section is called recommendations, which you can refer to as testimonials, but they are called recommendations. So I might claim to have great leadership development skills and people might endorse me for good coaching skills, but this is where colleagues get to go and tell about you and give you some kudos for the online world to see. And it's really, really great to start off by asking your peers, like, hey, I'll write you a LinkedIn recommendation if you write me one, and just starting to build up your testimony that way. But I would make sure that you really do endorse the person you're recommending and not just do it just to do it, but really find people that you've worked with and you think would really have something great to say about you and just ask, hey, would you mind giving me a recommendation? That's how I got a couple of these actually. So it never hurts to ask, and it never hurts to ask again if they say yes and forget. Most people want to help each other out. And then give back. If someone gives you a recommendation and you feel it's they're worthy of a recommendation for you too, just do it and think of ways that might add value. Like if you and a coworker doing a project together and they just really helped and did a great job, they would probably be thrilled to find a recommendation for them on LinkedIn. Definitely is something that's very underutilized. All right, so the About Me section, this is really important. Oftentimes you will see job descriptions in here. So I am a director of finance by day. I'm the program chair for AFW by night, and I run my own business whenever else I get the moment or the chance. So I could just put my job duties here, responsible for this, impacted this, but this is really an area for you to share the story of you. And you want to talk directly to your ideal employer or your ideal client. They're called ICA is your ideal client avatar. IEA is your ideal employer avatar. So let's say you're looking for a job in the healthcare industry. Talk to the president of the healthcare industry and sell yourself in a way that the person that you want to draw in will be interested in you. So this is kind of my story. I'm not going to read it all for you, but it's definitely, I'm talking to the exact person I have in mind who I want to respond and reach out to me or follow me. And then every About Me section needs a call to action. At the end of mine that you just saw, I have DM me to connect and get to know me by checking out my links page, provided the website that they can click on. And you'll see I used the little emojis too, both in this one and that one, because it kind of draws attention to points that you want to call out. So you can follow me on Instagram and you can sign up for my weekly email newsletter. That's an old link I'm going to have to fix. But the last thing recruiters and clients look for is your work history and your credentials. So these may be very important to hiring managers and potential clients, but they're not going to even look at that until they read the rest of your profile first, until you hook them in and make them want to get to know you. And then they're going to say, wow, this person's what I'm looking for. Let me see if they have the credentials that I'm looking for or the experience that I'm looking for. And sometimes you may not have those things, but they love the value that you can add, and they might reach out to you anyway. So remember, it's all about demonstrating the value that you have to offer. So expertise is demonstrated, it's not claimed. I really love this quote. I don't know who said it, but I heard it recently and wanted to add it because many people use LinkedIn as a way to claim their expertise. Like, here's what I've done, here's my skills, but it really has to be demonstrated in a thoughtful, intentional way through the words that you use. So just keep that in mind. And the value add outreach. So building a network on LinkedIn is a really great way to connect with professionals in your industry and expand your personal and professional reach. So I'm going to give you some tips on how to do that. First, you want to connect with people you know. That's the easiest way to get started if you don't have a lot of connections. This could include colleagues, friends, me, Christina, family members. It's going to help build a foundation for your network. We're going to talk about this a little bit later, but participating in groups, joining groups that are related to your industry or your interests, engaging with content. When you like and comment and share content from others in your network, it'll help you build relationships and increase your visibility. Offer value, share your own expertise and insights. So if you read an article that you think is, wow, I want to share this, don't just share to your profile, share it with your insights, with your comments. Why did you like that article? What value did it bring to you? And then once you've established value, so I want to do an analogy here. On the screen, you'll see build your room. And think of let's say you're invited to a really big conference and there's 1,000 people in the room and you have 30 minutes for a networking activity. It's going to be really tough for you to go around to 30 or 1,000 people from all different industries, just everyone who came to this conference, shake hands, remember names, get business cards, connect with people on a genuine, authentic basis. So I'm sure many of you have been in that situation. Now think of a very intimate room with a very niched down networking event where everyone in the room is there for the same reason as you are. Maybe it's a job fair for a specific industry. Maybe it's a women's luncheon where the room is filled with people like you who are looking for connections. It's much easier, even if you have the same 30 minutes, to connect with people who are interested in what you're interested in a much smaller environment. So that's kind of what I say by build your room, bringing people who matter into your community instead of just making connections with anybody just to show that you have a large number of connections. Hopefully that added a little bit of color there. When you cold DM somebody, it's kind of like cold calling. I'm calling it cold DMing. It doesn't work. I get things every single day in my LinkedIn messages. Hey, Tracy, I think you'd be interested in my product. I've never heard from this person. I've never seen them in my newsfeed, and I don't even respond. Is that nice not to respond? No, but I literally get dozens every day. So what you want to do is, after you start connecting with people you know, after you start participating in groups, once you start sharing information, adding your insight, people see you connecting, people see you liking things, that's when they're going to start noticing you. Once they start noticing you and you start to see them liking your stuff or commenting on your things, then it's perfectly acceptable and much more effective to reach out. Hey, I noticed you like this article I shared. Sounds like we have some common interests. I'd love to connect. And that is much more impactful than just cold calling, for lack of a better word, people in your messages. It is, however, a better strategy to put a personal note in if you're going to just connect with somebody. Even if it is cold DMing, a little message is better than no message, but I would avoid it until you start to build that relationship or that presence. Let's see. Yeah, I can't stress this enough. Don't focus on the number of connections you have because it doesn't matter. The quality of those connections is what is going to make the difference for you. LinkedIn supports this because not too long ago, they used to allow people to connect with over 2,000 connections every month, and they have limited that to 400. So 400 connections a month is still a lot of connections, and in my opinion, more than you need, more than that will add value, but you can tell that they're scaling that back to make it a more engaging, valuable experience. You want to identify with people who you can provide value to, and then you want to demonstrate it. How are we doing on time? We're good. All right, so Christina, you want to take over?
Sure, thank you. So this is all about your job search strategy, and a really good step, the first step that you can take that will be super helpful. It helps you get noticed, make some meaningful connections with industry contacts that are on LinkedIn, is to join LinkedIn groups that are related to your industry. So for example, if you are in the tech industry, then you could do a quick search in the group section and you will have over thousands, probably over 20,000 groups populate for something like that. Even if you want to develop your skills in certain areas, you can do searches like that. If you want to improve public speaking, or you want to go into the education industry, things like that, you're going to find a lot of great results. And it's also potential additions to your network. However, just like Tracy was mentioning, for this to be effective, you have to interact with the LinkedIn group. It's not about you want to contribute and be a valuable member of the group. And so you want to make sure that you're interacting with them, participating in discussions, answering questions that can showcase your expertise, like Tracy mentioned. Instead of just sharing an article in the group, talk about why you liked the article, what was important, and what value it added from your viewpoint. Share relevant content with that group. And remember, it's all about the community. Anything else you want to add on that, Tracy?
Nope, great job.
All right. The next part is going to be all about your job search function. So with this one, when you use LinkedIn's job search function, it allows you to filter your job postings by location, industry, and other relevant criteria. So you can even save your search to receive notifications when job postings that match your criteria become available. Something else that's an option on there, and I forget exactly how it's worded, but if you find some job postings that you like, there's a little button you can turn on to say, send me notifications for similar jobs like this. So that's another great feature, because then you're able to zero in even more on those specific criteria that was in that job that you liked. Engage with companies and recruiters. So follow the companies and the recruiters that you're interested in working for. You can also engage with their posts, their content, just to, again, demonstrate your interest and knowledge in the company and that industry. And when you're applying for jobs and you find something that you're interested in, use LinkedIn to apply. LinkedIn's apply within LinkedIn feature. It makes it super easy to apply for those jobs using your profile and information. So that way it's already kind of feeding information through that system, and it's all in one place for that specific job. Look at the other options in addition to jobs though. You can look at people who post about content creations, courses that you can take, groups that you can join, and companies that you can follow. I know I found a lot of great motivational speakers and companies that I like to read articles on, like Muse. So I follow a lot of things like that as well, just to help me upskill in my industry and also in my skills. And then oh, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. I'll go after you.
Oh, that I was just gonna say, with this feature, I found myself spending hours sometimes, because the possibilities really are endless. So you find yourself looking at so many areas that give you so many opportunities on what's out there for jobs.
And this just gives can you see my pointer?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So this just gives a very good visual description. So in the search area, I put content creator. And when you put it in there, I clicked on jobs, but like Christina was saying, this is where you could click on people and it would show you content creators, posts, different posts people have made about content creation, different products that are offered, schools, courses for content. So this, when you have an area you're interested in, you can go down a rabbit hole, but it's actually very interesting. And in my opinion, a much better way to spend your social media time than things like Facebook and TikTok, even though that's addicting too.
It's true. Although I spend time on those too, this is a much better use of my time. I agree. Okay. So the last one that we wanted to touch on is LinkedIn Learning. So have any of you done any LinkedIn Learning courses before? You can just post in the chat or speak out loud. Becca said she has. Okay. If you do want to talk out loud, you can raise your hand and we'll unmute you. Kaylee's done some, Heather, great. So in doing those courses, what did you find that was the most valuable to you? Well, I don't see anyone posting, so we'll talk about all the value it can bring. Oh, Becca, there we go. I have a question on this topic, valuable leadership skills.
Can we unmute Becca so that we can hear her?
Yeah.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know if you guys may or may not know the answer to this, but I work with Achieve and we have a LinkedIn profile that we can do like these courses on. I don't know if it's the premium or the free account, but I've been doing them through my work email account. Is there any way to connect that to my personal account?
I'll take a stab. Christina might be able to help with this. So we have a similar thing at our organization, and you can link them. I'm not sure if it's the same with your organization, but we can try to find those steps to do that. So basically, you have a personal LinkedIn account, but you access LinkedIn Learning through your employer. Is that what you're saying?
Correct.
Okay. Yes, there is a way to link those. Christina, do you happen to have that information, or we can send it out afterwards, right?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say is I know I've sent it out in prior sessions, so I'll just have to find it because there's a few steps I believe to it. But we'll find that and make sure that we make it available with the PowerPoint.
Awesome. Thank you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. It makes it so much easier too.
Yeah, and I want to get like that credit that you guys are talking about if you take courses.
Yes. And yes.
Yes, absolutely. That's what I love about it is I can do LinkedIn courses on my phone and then it automatically shows up when I'm done with the course as a certification on my profile. So there's a lot of benefits in connecting them.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you for asking the question. So with LinkedIn Learning, we just talked about some of the benefits. So one of them is professional development. As some of you know that have taken those courses, there's a huge library of courses and tutorials that range from professional skills, personal development. There's a ton of topics, and this can really help you expand your knowledge and stay up to date with the latest trends and the developments in your field. I know when I search through the professional development opportunities on there, what's really cool too is it'll say like what's trending right now, what's really popular as far as their courses go. So then that might trigger you to think, oh, is there something changing in the industry or something I should be aware of? It's also really cool because you can even create your own personal libraries based on learnings that you want to watch. So for me, there are certain things that I might facilitate at my work on certain topics. So I'll go in and I'll watch a bunch of LinkedIn learnings, but I put them in my library for that work project so that I know, okay, these are all the ones I want to watch to get upskilled in that area. You can also use it for career advancement. So by investing in your professional development through the LinkedIn Learning, you can demonstrate to your employer and colleagues that you're committed to your career growth and your advancement. And just like we talked earlier, it's giving you certifications or even doing the assessments. Those all contribute to potential career advancement. It also has shown to improve job performance. By learning new skills and techniques, you can improve your performance and you can become more valuable to your organization. It also has increased earning potential. The knowledge and the skills that you gain can make you a more competitive job candidate and potentially help you get promoted or increase your earning potential. It's also super convenient and flexible, like we talked about earlier. I can lay in my bed and take a LinkedIn course. Like, how cool is that? I'm developing my skills, adding to my LinkedIn profile, and I can do it all from the comfort of my bed if the kids are asleep now and that's the only quiet time that I have to focus. And then networking opportunities. By connecting with other professionals who are taking that same course, you can expand your network and make new connections. I know that I've been able to do that even through other like certifications and programs. You connect with groups and different people in your classes, and then that helps you grow your network as well. And then credibility and recognition. So just like I had mentioned earlier, it gives you certificates. And when you complete it, for those who may have not done one before, it gives you the option right there. Do you want us to post this on your LinkedIn newsfeed? And it will automatically create it for you to share with your LinkedIn connections. And then I think it covered everything there. Is there anything else you want to add, Tracy? Oh, I think you're muted. I can't hear you.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I just want to share a few more things about this. I want to share a story about how important it is to have connections or how easy it is to get connections. We have a colleague, an ex-colleague who we talked about him a little while ago. He was a career coach with our university, and he started following this new company at the time called The Muse. I highly suggest all of you follow The Muse because it's all about career coaching. They have resume tips, they have articles on advancing your career, and that's their area of expertise. And he followed them, and he was so impressed. he looked at their company profile, he saw who the CEO was, and he reached out to her and said, hey, just want to let you know that the content you provide helps me in my own career. It's been a big benefit to me in my own career. And so she looked at his profile and she reached out to him and said, hey, would you like to be a contractor, a coach for my company? So he created a whole new opportunity as a side gig at that time. And it's just, that's how easy it can be. Does that happen every time? No, but it's definitely easy to make connections in that way. Another thing is that once you start joining groups, liking content, contributing to content, those things move up on your news feed. There's a lot of artificial intelligence behind it, but what you'll find over time is that when you go to your home screen and look at your news feed, it's all stuff you're interested in. This is where I get so many leadership articles, so much content for the things that I create and teach. You can validate through your newsfeed, and it becomes a very useful use of time instead of a waste of time just going through social media feeds. So with that, I just want to challenge you. If you're a social media junkie or a scroller first thing in the morning or late at night as you're laying in bed, just cut 15 minutes off that time and invest it in LinkedIn. And over time, you'll start to see a huge, huge improvement. So Christina, do you have any final thoughts before we open it up for questions?
I think one thing I want to add is when I first started the LinkedIn journey, like Tracy mentioned, I remember talking to another leader and I said, all right, I'm going to finish, I'll work on my profile, I'll make it tonight and get it all done. And she laughed at me and I didn't know why she was laughing. And she said, that's not something you do overnight. That's like years in the making. So you can start it, but it's not something you rush. You know, you develop it over time and you keep it maintained. So that's just my best advice is we don't expect you to create the best LinkedIn profile that's complete tonight, but you can get started on that, and just spending those 15 minutes a day, like Tracy mentioned, will make all the difference. That's actually what my strategy was, and I was able to build it very easily and wasn't as overwhelmed.
So we would love for you all to connect with us on LinkedIn so we can watch your journeys. But do any of you have any questions? Okay. All right. Well, did you find this information helpful?
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. Well, we are going to give you a little bit of time back. So I hope you go enjoy your evenings. And for the She Leaders on the call, this will be available on your portal within the next few days. So have a great night, everybody. Thank you.